Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Greetings, all those seen and all those unseen. Good to have you on board. And continuing our journey of growth, our journey of development, our journey of health, our journey of awakening. So today I want to focus on some areas that I think are important in order to prevent the effect of the current rate of anxiety or stress or trauma that people are going through. When we are going through a stressful situation, we don't realize we adapt to it. We adapt to it as best as we can, and this over time exhausts us. And the same is true for our health and well being. And then when we're exhausted, we then suffer the consequences of being in that stressful, traumatic situation. Hence, post traumatic stress disorder. Now, since the whole uh, fear based pandemic stuff that's been going on, it has it increased anxiety, and in some people, there is still is anxiety, even though it's apparent that there seems to be, a disregard for what you're supposed to do, and a disregard from those who are telling you what you need. So either you think for yourself and you begin to look at what is going on. This, what we are being exposed to, is a form of terrorism because we're all terrorized by a virus. Before we were terrorized by um, people in, I don't know, in funny costumes, shouting funny slogans, and killing each other and putting our lives at risk. They seem to have just disappeared. Oh, how incredible is that? Everything just seems to have disappeared, and all we've been terrorized with and um, constantly is the virus is going to get you, the virus is going to get you. And so this has an impact on us in terms of our psychology, and it has symptoms. And the symptoms normally come around a month or two after the threat has gone. However, I feel that there may be other levels of threats because obviously this one didn't quite work. So there may be another one that's on its way. So it's important to become mindful and to take the appropriate actions now. It's not about thinking about this stuff, it's about taking appropriate actions now. And this is why, really, through the center, that we're trying to provide the best we can. That look, it's only up to us to take control. And as we begin to, every time we do this, we increase this level of self sovereignty. It's only when the sense of self, the ego self, the mind self, the who I think I am self, uh, it's only when we go behind this that we are able to recognize, or awareness becomes aware of awareness itself, right? Um, and this space is your essential space. It's the space of safety. It's a space of comfort. It's a space of health. And there are other biological things that happen as well when you're in this space. If for those people who are into the kind of biomedical model of health, by doing this, what you're doing, especially when we're using a mantra, frequency medicine, we can allow our heart brain coherence to happen. This allows the electromagnetic fields to become stronger, which immediately impact your nervous system, which immediately impact every one of your cells. So we begin to undo the negative effects of being in a traumatic or stressful situation. And most of us are, whether we accept it or whether we recognize it's like a frog being boiled. You don't necessarily recognize you being boiled until you take it out of the water, so to speak. So I want to make sure that we are on the same page. We're looking at this as a preventative measure. So this is like you taking the appropriate actions at this stage in order to prevent yet other factors that can influence your health and well-being. So some of the symptoms that are to do with this are physical ones to start recognizing fairly quickly are insomnia, changes in sleeping pattern, more irritability, more exhaustion, or more wanting to keep on the edge. Sorry, not exhaustion, keeping on the edge. And over time, this does become kind of burnout as well, exhaustion. But the symptoms are recognizable as psychological symptoms, physical symptoms, also numbing of emotions, anger. These kind of symptoms over time just exaggerate the current situation you're in. And we can expand the symptoms in physical ways also with really what you're doing is because you're on flight fight response system, your blood's been diverted from your stomach, so you'll have digestion problems, you may have stomach aches, you may feel kind of nauseous. So these symptoms are recognizable. And as we become more and more um, uh, as we stay longer within this kind of fear space or this anxiety space, it'll have a greater impact on us. So it's important for us to use the meditations that we are using in order to prevent this. If you don't do anything else, bit of meditation now and then, a little bit of qigong, make because this isn't just about preventing post-traumatic stress disorder or the symptoms of it. But this is also strengthening your immunity, strengthening your own body so you can face the next wave and especially the winter months. Because during the winter months, the body's immunity goes down, vitamin D goes down, vitamin C goes down. We become more susceptible to infections. There is more going on. Cold kind of seems to help this stuff. Um, so it's important to build your immunity now while you have the time to do it, and when you have the resources to do it, then actually then panicking, come October, November, December onwards. Because this, as we told you earlier on, this appears to be something that has a sense of permanency and something that is certainly, as we said, a month ago, that really it's trying to let go of what we thought was normal, and it's now about um, creating your what you want in life. And I won't call it normal because I think normality is just consensual reality. As long as you all agree that this is normal. So the mystics of this world, the psychics of this world, the clairvoyants of this world, the mediums of this world, all of those, and including conspiracy theorists, all of those have been margined down. That's how you. That's how the duality works. So important to take control now in order to prevent not just post-traumatic stuff symptoms, but also to improve your immunity and health and well-being. So we can this if we take certain measures now, we can prevent the impact of this on also people around us. And this is the other thing we need to recognize. In order for us to bring the change that we want, we have to bring the change in ourselves. We have to change certain things about ourselves. We have to change things that are not serving us, things that generate conflict, things that generate divisions, things that generate, whether it's political, because remember, the game is always divide and rule. Right? This is where they're masters. So how do they divide you? Well, easy. There are those pro-lockdown, anti-lockdown, pro-virus, anti-virus, politicians who support the Labour, who support conservatives. It's always the same. It's divide, 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 divide. And as long as you're divided, you will defend your position. And you will waste your time defending a position that's been created by someone else, right? There are always three sides to a story. There's your side, there's the other side, and then there is what is, right? We always have our perception that colors our stories, and those stories that impact us, those stories become our reality. Wherever you put your mind, wherever your thoughts are, that's what you're going to become. That's it. So if your thoughts are about fear, then your life at the end of the day, when you take that last breath and someone asks you, you know, is it St. Paul, St. Peter, or Tarabraj, depending on which tradition you're coming from, um, asks you, hey, dude, how did your life go? What was your life all about? And you can say, well, because I wore a mask, didn't go outside much. And you know what? I think I might have lost it. I think I may have kind of misjudged the situation. So it's important to think for yourself. It's important to be critically evaluating yourself. You know, it's like two people walking down a dark path, and one has a light, and the other one just uses the other one, the first one's light to direct their way. But if that changes, then it's important for you to have your own light. And how do you have your own light? You have your own light intellectually by questioning the narrative, questioning what you're being told. Look, as a child, you didn't have a choice. You were told exactly what to do and what not to do. You didn't have a choice to question. And if you questioned it, you were punished. And the same is true today with uh, the dominant narrative. The moment you question it, all these fanatics, and that's all they are, will simply jump down your throat. Now, there is a reality that one has to kind of come to terms with. One is there are those who have a little bit about them and are awakening or awakened, and there are those that are in denial, and there are those that are completely blind to it. Now, these different layers of human consciousness that we are now coming across, you are in your spectrum, there are others in their spectrum, and others in that. Depending on how far these spectrums are, there is more difficulty, and you're going to have um, uh, conflict. So, in these situations, better to just say, yep, when the time is ready, I'm here. And to be in a position because you have practiced and developed yourself to have something concrete to help, you will notice that there is increasing exposure coming through to do with the politics, to do with vaccination, to do with 5G, to do with AI, to do with creation of superhumans, to do with DNA manipulation, to do with tracking. All of these things are little systems in order to hold you in a particular place. Now, they may be used for you or they may be used against you. Technology isn't bad, it's the intention behind the technology that makes the difference. So, if the intention is based first on creating this fear, you are infected, and if you're infected, you're going to infect other people, then I can have that as my excuse to start monitoring everyone else. So, where does it stop? Ask yourself this question. Is this what you want? Now, those who are ignorant couldn't care less. As long as they get their bread and butter, they don't care. Those who are in this, kind of in the middle level, well, the thing is, they know something is dodgy. They know inside them, they know. The intellect doesn't want to accept that. And the ego, so the intellect is just part of the ego, the divisionary part of the ego, is simply creating stories in order to say, no, 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 it'll all be okay. It'll all be okay. It'll all be okay. So it's like a wolf leading a herd of sheep saying, come on, follow me, follow me, follow me. It'll all be okay. It'll all be okay. It's important for everyone to think for themselves. Important. Because no matter how much someone loves you or someone who's close to you, etc., when the time comes to do with your life, only you can deal with it. Only you can deal with that life. No one else can. Only you are responsible for your life. Only you are responsible for your health. Only you are responsible for your sovereignty. No one else can do that. Doesn't matter how much they love you, etc. Only you can feel your pain. As I've quoted Bob Marley before, he who knows it feels it, Lord. Only those who know it feel it, or only those who feel it know it. So important to use that as your understanding to ground you in your own sovereignty, in your own threat, in your own sense of being. So you can come out of the threat cycle. So you can step back from the ego, right? So remember, the ego is not who you are, it's what the creation of you is through society, language, blah, blah, blah. And it's divided. It's always divided. The ego is always divided, and this division is the good part of you and the bad part of you, and there is always this conflict and conversation going on. Once you recognize that is the nature of the ego, you can do something about it. You can recognize it isn't me going insane. That's just my mind trying to do the best for me and giving me a good analysis. But don't accept don't believe this is right and this is wrong simply because you have a bias, right? It's important to see what the mind is doing, show you what it gives you, and if it feels wrong, that is your check. That's your check. You have the information in front of you, you look at it. If it feels slightly uncomfortable, then time to walk away, brothers and sisters. Time to walk away. If it feels okay, time to pursue it. If it feels right, definitely ignore all information and go. So, all I'm asking is simply to know this feeling. By residing in the heart, we are not just doing biological things, psychological things, emotional health. It's not just those dimensions of health, but there is a bigger purpose to it. That is to do with your electromagnetic field. That is to do with your aura. That is to do with all the things that those who know this, those who know where to look, go and do your research. You will find that auras and Caribbean photography, for example, can capture it. You can see it. You just do the five qigong postures, especially outside against the blue sky for a while, and you will see your aura. Many people that have gone on our retreats have done that. So I'll come to Jim, our master Jim Bacon's classes would know that. So these things are to strengthen you now because this is what it's about. It's about what does it mean to be human, and you, like me, are just discovering. Wow, what does it mean to be human? And there is nothing in your mind space that you can comprehend that can describe what and who you are. Absolutely nothing. It's like a blind person trying to describe what a rainbow is. Can't be done. It can only be known. It can only be known. And this is the definition of a teacher and a master. A teacher is someone that teaches you. And a master was once asked this question: what makes you a good teacher? And he says, for you will become what I am, and I was what you are before. Meaning that there's a transformation, meaning that there is an evolution, there is a growth, and this growth is about health and sovereignty. So, how do we prevent post traumatic stress disorder? We prevent it by first recognizing how we are, how our current state is. So, I'm going to ask you to do something. I'm going to ask you to close your eyes, take a deep breath in, hold, and relax. And now I want you to see if you can rate your anxiety level or your stress level. And let's use a scale of 1 to 5. 1 means there's maybe something there. 5 means I'm pretty freaked out. 3 means, yep, it's there now and then, but when it's there, it's noticeable. Okay. So 1 is just about there. 3 is, yep, there's something there in the back of my mind. There's something that's concerning me. 5 is, I am about to lose my mind. Rate your anxiety, rate your stress. So now we know where we are. Okay. Now, this is a great exercise. If you were to do this 2 or 3 times in a day, you will find that every time you do it, you create a little distance between how you feel, that emotional content, and this awareness. Now, awareness has a feeling with it, right? It's a very innate feeling. So when you take a step back from your emotional contact, doesn't mean you become feelingless. No, 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 no. That's just what, yeah. The word here is anand, andua, non-duality. There is a feeling, but that feeling also has a feeling of joyfulness. So, as we step back from our content, our emotional content, more and more, it gives us more power. So that's simple. Just simply closing your eyes, taking a deep breath in, and then just doing a quick emotional check-in. Now let's do another check-in. And this check-in is a physical check-in. So again, eyes are closed, mouth open, deep breath in, and relax. On your next breath in, make the body your point of focus, right? So just begin to notice the sensations on the body. Let's begin with the surface of the body. So notice the face, notice the arms, notice the chest, notice the back, and then from your hips to the chair or the floor you're on, and then notice your legs. Is there anything dominant in your body? A pain, an ache? So remember, it's a check-in. It's a check-in. See if you can move your focus inside the body. So a good place to move this is near the chest. So imagine that when you breathe in, that breath goes all the way to the center of your chest. And then try and hold your focus on the center of your chest. Now expand this focus if you can so you become aware of your chest, stomach, and diaphragm, and your back. So it's almost like a balloon that makes you aware of your torso. Yeah. Now move your focus down to your hips, down to where the chair is or the floor is, and imagine that this balloon from the inside of your body goes down your thighs as you breathe out, all the way to your knees. And on your next breath out, it moves down inside your legs, all the way to the ankle and the feet. Come back to your chest. Again, as you breathe in, just fill that space up. With every breath in, it just simply gets brighter, more awareness. Now see if you can move this focus from the chest to the neck, inside your face. Notice your eyes. Notice the inside of your mouth. Relax your tongue. As you breathe in, bring your focus back to your chest. And now see how you feel. How do you feel in this moment right now? Now, as you bring your focus back to your body, notice how the body is embedded in this moment. On your next breath out, simply become aware of the sounds around you and follow the sound of this bell as far as you can. Notice how you feel. Just as the body was embedded in this moment, now your consciousness is embedded in this moment. Simply by listening. Just follow the bell again and notice how your consciousness becomes embedded in the silence. Notice how you feel. Notice how your awareness seems to have expanded. You're not just confined to this physical body anymore. So we're going to use the physical body and we're going to use awareness. Shabad Guru Surtunchela. The sound becomes your teacher and your awareness becomes the disciple. So I want you to bring your focus back to your breath. And with this space of calmness, with this space of reverence, become aware of your breath first. How fortunate are you to have this breath? And there's no price to pay for it. And it completely works by itself. You don't need to put any effort into it whatsoever. The out breath knows exactly when to end. The in breath knows exactly when to start. Stay with your breath. In a moment, I'm going to ask you to take a deeper breath in. And as you breathe out, you're going to say the sound, so hum. Follow the breath as far as it can take you. And you're going to say it aloud. And we're going to do it 3 times. So when you're ready, slow, deep breath in. So just follow the sound as best as you can. And again. So come back to your breath. Notice what's happening within you, if anything. Now, next time you're going to bring this same sound, but you're only going to mutter it to yourself. Once again, you're going to do it 3 times, and you're going to notice your tongue moving as you say it. But you're only going to say it so only you can hear it. Once again, deep breath in. Simply whispering it to yourself. Once again. And again. Coming back to your breath. Notice if anything has changed. And now as you breathe in, I want you to say the word so in your mind and listen to it. And as you breathe out, you want to say the word hum. And it is paced exactly to your breath. Keep listening, synchronized with your breath. Notice how loud it is. And now as you breathe out, with every breath out, I'd like you to see if you can lower the volume within yourself. Keep listening and just keep following the sound. Gently lowering it within yourself. Keep following that sound. Listening. Notice when the sound disappears and it's almost like a pulse. Lowering the volume. And now just to take you to that silent space, as you're listening, follow this sound. Still listening, still listening, just as far as you can go. Experience as best as you can. Know that this is your inner sanctum. Know that this is really what you're about. This ain't unchanging, without fear, without anger, without anxiety, without stress. Awareness that is eternally here, always will be here. May change its clothes, your body may come and go, but the awareness always remains. Notice if it's peaceful within you, if it's silent within you, or if it feels still. And how would you rate your experience for yourself? When you're ready, slowly bring your focus back to your body. Notice the stillness of your body, giving it thanks for doing all that it can do so you can have all the wonderful experiences that you have. Smile at it. Notice that your back is still straight and upright. You have sensations down your legs. Your shoulders, arms, and hands are comfortable. Your eyes are still closed. Your mouth is still closed. Your face is relaxed. Coming back to your breath. As you breathe in, you can sense your body and perhaps even more beyond the body. Almost like the whole of existence is breathing. In a few moments, you will hear another bell. This bell marks the end of our session, gently bringing your focus, holding it at your breath, taking a few deep breaths in, and in your own good time, bringing this experience back with you, being grateful for having taken the time out for yourself. And when you're ready in your own good times, opening your eyes. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Thank you very much. Thank you for joining this beautiful space today. It truly was magical. Look after yourselves, but know that you are looked after too. If you are still concerned about anxiety, stress, the Flame Center is doing a workshop this Saturday. You can find details on the center site, theflame.co.uk. Or if you know anyone that may find that useful, please do make use of that. Thank you very much. Hope you can still join us again. Be safe. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh.